WB is said to be taking power away from James Gunn, and by this time next year, he will have far less control of DC Studios as a whole as they pivot to somebody with a better vision that's going to deliver what they want. When DC Studios was formed, this was off the back of the multiple disappointments that we had with the DCEU. Obviously, if you look at how things played out, it was during the summer of Black Adam that was leading up to the fall release of Black Adam, where the hierarchy of power was going to change forever, with Black Adam changing the hierarchy in comic book films, which was then going to lead into the huge success and the revolution and everybody going to see Shazam! Fury of the Gods, which was then going to be followed up with Flash doing a small universe reset, but plans were already in motion for much more, such as a Man of Steel 2, a Black Adam versus Superman film, Shazam 3 was in early discussions, and multiple other projects were right then and there still being talked about. At the same time, James Gunn was over in his own little corner of the DC universe writing a small Superman project that they were considering making, but again, they weren't sure what was going to happen. Then Black Adam came out, everything came crashing down. Not only was the film dragged by critics, also by fans, and while that's not the deciding factor, obviously, the box office was. Nothing was looking good. So WB did what WB does. They were reactionary, and they said, hey James, hey Peter, do you guys just want to reboot everything? Just start over. This is not going to be a success for us. And we know it wasn't, because after The Flash, we still got Blue Beetle, and of course Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom, and both of those flopped as well. So the correct course was to reboot. Unfortunately, James Gunn's reboot has underdelivered and flopped. So fast forward to the start of the DC Universe, Chapter 1, Gods and Monsters. It's announced, and well, what we see is a whole lot of projects, from Superman Legacy, to Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow, to Batman Brave and the Bold, to Swamp Thing, Booster Gold, Lanterns, more Peacemaker, a Waller TV series, The Authority. I mean, it was looking impressive. Fast forward to now, half of these projects are canceled and or will never happen, or moved on past the, hey, we need something to toss up as a logo, such as Paradise Lost, and other projects have taken some projects' place, or just outright are in development ahead of anything we heard before. So in the meantime, James Gunn and Peter Safran are putting together their first wave of projects. Creature Commandos, while a big hit with fans and reviews, doesn't really chart that much as it's a cartoon, so it is what it is. Then we get Superman. Superman underdelivers at the box office per analysts. It didn't do $1 billion at the box office, which again was analysts stating it was going to do $1 billion. Go back as far as me looking at the box office predictions at the end of the year, literally asking for whatever they're smoking to be given to me because I want that. Because I don't know how anybody saw Superman as a $1 billion franchise. It was never going to happen, especially with Superman Legacy, or Superman simply titled now. Again, what were they looking at? So again, there is this expectation, sort of like how recently we learned that internally EA wants 100 million players for Battlefield 6. Where did that come from? A disgruntled employee that said it at a podcast. Never once was this stated by anybody working on Battlefield officially, but now they're always a failure because they're not going to hit 100 million players. Of course they're not. What games hit 100 million players? Like 4. So again, perception. But this all really focuses on James Gunn with Peacemaker, because Peacemaker did not deliver the goods. As a matter of fact, it's a complete flop because the last episode didn't deliver what fans wanted. And the fans wanted impossible expectations, which were set by insiders and scoopers hyping up the last episode and overhyping it, but also, let's not ignore the blame that should be focused on James Gunn. He teased massive cameos. The big episode at the end changes everything. It ties directly into Man of Tomorrow. It's a big deal. What we got was an epilogue to the real last episode, which was the 7th episode. So now, James Gunn is on the chopping block, and starting next year, his power is being taken away. So reports have landed recently that James Gunn will be fired. Now, I covered that in another video. Let's be real, that's not going to happen. Even with a merger, they're going to keep him on. But apparently WB is looking to take away some of the power away from James Gunn because he can't structure things as good as Kevin Feige, and that he's failing on delivering the projects that they announced. Okay, if I was to believe this, then you would have to apply this to every other studio. Kevin Feige has not delivered on half the projects that were in development. Disney with Star Wars has not delivered, yet they're still finding success, and the people stay on. People need to realize that DC Studios is operating like any other studio. They are developing multiple projects, and sometimes some of those projects don't get off the ground. Do you guys really think that everything Marvel Studios develops happens? Because it doesn't. I've seen concept art for things that you guys can only dream of happening. If you seriously saw some of the things that I've seen and been told directly by people I know for a fact, that I know that are telling me the 100% truth, you would think that Marvel Studios doesn't have a plan because of how many projects have entered development, stalled, and or been pulled at various stages of development. The fact of the matter is, James Gunn will not lose power. What will happen is that they are going to streamline things a little bit more, slow down on some of the announcements, and focus on directly what's in front of them. You know who else did this? Marvel Studios post Phase 1. I need you for a second to take the glaze retrovision off for Marvel Studios, where everything was perfect. Everything was pre-planned and methodic. From Iron Man 1 to Endgame, they planned it all. Okay, then how about the canceled Black Widow movie from Phase 1? Wait, how about that War Machine film right after Avengers? Wait, how about that Kazar film? How about the Man-Thing film? Wait, hold up. How about the Captain Marvel film that was in development starting very early in the 2010s? Wait, how about Kevin Feige's Immortal Iron Fist film, which he first talked about at the press tour of Iron Man 1? Where's that? Wait, why did Disney and Marvel go to Fox to try to secure Silver Surfer and Galactus for the Avengers post-credit scene, but they couldn't? I thought they planned Thanos from the beginning, guys. I mean, that's what the internet tells me. See what happens when you believe a bunch of grifters and a bunch of nonsense? You're misled constantly. James Gunn is not getting power taken away. As a matter of fact, he's going to streamline it and get more power because he's been proven to be reliable. And despite what you might think of the finale of Peacemaker, it's still overall a very well-received series. So you're telling me that one mishap is going to get him fired, but 30 mishaps in 5 years by Snyder means he's going to come back once the other studio gets a hold of WB? Pass the hopium, boy. Thank you for checking out that video, and thank you for your continued support. Feel free to like, share, subscribe, do whatever you will, and if you're so inclined and would like some additional content from us, which includes unfiltered content and bonus discussions, we do offer exclusively in our member section. We hope to see you there. So thank you for watching, and have a good one.